Welcome to Rock DIY, or Do It You. If you do it, then it's all you. These are snowshoes from a friend that wanted them restored. It's missing one of the foot pads, and the leather laces on them are pretty rotten. But these are mainly for display, they're not in use. These snowshoes were made in 1943 by Snowcraft Incorporated of Norway, Maine. They're 10 inches wide by 55 inches long. They have stamp numbers. These were used for pairing and keeping track of the snowshoes. These are a Yukon type snowshoe. They're made from ash wood. Historically, when these were made, only about half of them made it through the process because they tended to break apart when bending to shape. The rubber bindings on these snowshoes are not the original bindings. The original ones were all leather. Finding any today with original bindings is near impossible. Most rotted away over time. These were typical military issue during this period of time. These are the rubber bindings prior to any work was done. You can see some urethane on the rubber. Kind of see where there might be some decay in the leather, but these are pretty fragile pieces of leather. You can see here that the rubber pad is a pretty rough cut, and the holes for the leather laces were cut by knife or some other sharp instrument. You can see where a serial number or a tracking number has been stamped at the top of this piece of wood. Even though one pad was missing from one of the snow shoes, it was decided to replace both. And I just happen to already have this 1/8 inch padding, so this was used to replace those. The one and only pad that was remaining wasn't cut quite square, so I ended up going with 6 by 12 inches. I don't think there was any type of measurement in determining where the laces went on the pads, so I measured them all. For the new laces, these are the old laces that I'm replacing. They're stiff, brittle, and have polyurethane all over them. What I've done is I've marked where all the lace holes will go on each one of these foot pads for the snowshoes. They're 3/4 in, ½ inch up from the edges. Basically, there's a bar that goes across there. These are 6 inches wide by 12. I don't have a tool specifically for punching these holes. I could use a soldering iron tip, but I know this material chars up. It's not very clean. So because I don't have any specific tool for punching holes, I have to find something that I can use to make clean holes on these foot pads. Sometimes when you don't have the tool you need, you can make the tool you need. In this case, I used an old socket driver. Basically, I just grinded down the sides to make it really thin so that I'll be able to punch the holes where I need them. Do have to dig these little pieces out of the end of the driver, but does a pretty clean job. I took pictures to make sure that I put all the pieces back together the same exact way they were. One of the leather pieces that goes on the bindings was missing on one of them, so I used an old piece of leather that I had already to make a new piece for the binding. The two pieces on the top were combined to make a piece similar to the one at the bottom. The snowshoes had two sizes of leather lacing, 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 inch. The 1/4 inch lacing would have had to have been cut from a large piece of leather, but instead of doing that, it was decided to go with 1/8 of an inch all around on the bindings and pads. This is what the new 1/8 inch lacing looks like on the new pads. Here are the new snowshoes ready for display. This 7-inch crack in the side of the snowshoe was left as is. It basically adds character to the snowshoe, but this is one of the most common places that these snowshoes would break. Thanks for watching the video. I truly appreciate it. I hope this video motivates you to take on future DIY projects. There's nothing more satisfying than completing a project on your own. Please like, comment, or subscribe. Thanks again.